This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, today in the arena, Abzan Angels. Angel decks. The best way to do angels is with Yorion. You can't change my mind on this. That's because the best angel cards are Fira's Retribution, which is a saga. What's good with sagas? Yorion. It makes an angel. You can tap your angels to destroy creatures. They gain double strike. It's a powerful saga if it had a little something extra. We'll get to that in a second. The other angel enchantment is Rampage of the Valkyries. You don't find this one in packs. You have to craft it because it's from one of the precons, but it's 3 and a white black for... yeah, 5 is a lot. For a 4/4 angel with vigilance, yay. But whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. Really good against the aggro decks and the removal decks of the format, the mid-range decks. So both of those are nice. You get angels, and then you play Yorion, and you flicker them, and you get more angels. That's a pretty strong value engine. What keeps the deck from being good... hold on, I'm even in the wrong corner. Going too fast today. Did you think I'd let you out of here without blinking at you, without hitting you with the bright light? I will not. Never. Never. All right, but what's missing with the angels is 1... Lovestruck Beast is bigger for 3 mana. That kind of sucks. But 2, they don't draw cards. They just don't get value. If the opponent kills it, your saga did nothing. Like if they find a way to either exile your angel, blink your angel, bounce your angel, or if they just don't have a creature and they kill your angel, your enchantment just sits there waiting for Yorion to come save it. Same with Fira's Retribution, except it doesn't sit on the battlefield waiting for Yorion. Yorion has to come down on a specific turn, and you don't get to use the ability if they kill it right away. It's sad. You need value. Value is the backbone of any kind of a mid-range to control leaning deck, and we found it in a weird card that I never thought I'd play in a deck like this. Garruk's Uprising. 2 and a green for an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Whoa. Okay, so you play this on 3. You play the Retribution on 4. You get the angel, but you also get to draw a card. Let's say the next turn you play, I don't know, Yorion, the Sky Nomad, and it enters the battlefield, and it blinks the Garruk's Uprising, and it blinks the Fira's Retribution. Well, you draw a card right away from your Yorion entering the battlefield because it triggers the Uprising, and then when the Uprising re-enters the battlefield, you control a Yorion, you draw another card for that, and then you create another angel, and that draws a card. That's pretty nice. So while the Uprising, the only thing missing from the Uprising is the ability to draw a card the turn that you play it. But if, like, all you have to do is have an angel on the field for that to work. The Uprising also turns the Emiria's Call, which makes 2 4/4 angels. It turns that into a draw 2 as well. It turns your Legion Angel into a card that enters the battlefield, draws a card, and fetches another Legion Angel that when it enters the battlefield draws a card. So it is the card advantage engine we needed. Without a Doom Foretold kind of treacherous blessing thing, I was just running out of cards at all times. And this does the job. It is conditional. Like, it's not great if you draw this and you don't draw any angels, but we're an angel deck. We're kind of built to do the thing. And before you say it, no, don't play frickin' Starnheim Unleashed. You guys, you're frickin' Timmies. You just want to win more. If you play an Emiria's Call and you make 2 4/4s and you draw 2 cards, you're gonna win. If you play Starnheim Unleashed and you draw like 5 cards and make 5 angels, you get to go totally nuts, but you were just better off playing a better card most of the time. That card is just too slow. I mean, if you want to do it, whatever. You guys always like to change my decks and suggest the craziest possible things to put in them, but you never know what to take out, do you? You never suggest that. All right, 4 Heartless Axe, 4 Vanishing Verse, 4 Witherbloom Command. That is cheap removal to keep the aggro decks at bay. I like Witherbloom Command right now, being able to work on those indestructible cards while also hitting Wolfwillow Haven against the ramp decks. Gaining a little life, doing a little drain is nice, and milling 3 cards and getting a land back to make sure that you hit your land drops for the game is very important too. So I'm enjoying this card. Elspeth's Nightmare, this one gets in the hand and plays well with Yorion. You know, you got to be able to get in their hand and exile their graveyard a little bit and attack on a different dimension. Mythos of Nethroi. In Abzan colors, 3 mana, destroy target thing at instant speed. It can be a Great Henge. It can be an enchantment, an artifact, a planeswalker, a creature. That's a very versatile removal spell. So this large abundance of spot removal, along with binding the old gods, it can kill all kinds of things. Like we get a lot of things dead and then take over with our angel enchantment engines. And it's fun. This is a very fun deck. I think you guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let the angelic nonsense begin. 2-lander with a tome on the draw and no black mana for the Heartless Act. Shuffler's fine. It's fine. Think it means we're going to lose, but whatever. We do have Uprising and Retribution. We have to draw another white source. Opponent going to the Haven. Well, at least they're not running us over, but if we don't draw another white source, this is a disaster. Rampy with Blossoming Sands. Where are you going? What you getting up to? This is kind of interesting already. We're off meta. Let's see what it means. Come on, guys. White source. White source one time. Yorvo, of course. It was Yorvo all along. And a Foretell card. That's not a white source. But Binding can get one. If it sticks around. That's a lot of mana. What do you do with all this mana? Don't tell me. More Yorvos. One of the more unplayable hands I can remember having the pleasure of getting into. But because our opponent's on Cultivate, Wolfwillow Haven, God knows what, we don't have to be afraid yet. Thunderous Snapper. Guys, do you think that this is Starnheim Unleashed? Whenever you cast a spell with mana cost 5 or greater, draw a card. Draw a card, you say. I think I'm supposed to play the Rampage. I think if I Heartless Act this and I use 3 mana, I just have 3 mana sitting. That's not good. The other play that I can do is the Retribution. The thing with Retribution is we could draw land and still hold up Heartless Act. I think it's this, though. I don't think we can expect an untapped land from the deck today. He says, and then draws an untapped land. Hey, that's a trampling Flying Vigilant Angel, thank you. All right, sacrifice a creature. I drew a card, you sacrifice a creature. Keeping that turtle Hydra around. Man, it's nice to get a pairing like this every now and then. Just a reminder that there are decks out there that you can absolutely dunk on if you want to. Let's get a Retribution on the field. Draw. Land for turn. Set up a really nice Yorion. Kill the Snapper. All right, all this mana, all these expensive things, you gotta do something impressive. All right, sacrifice your mammoth. So sad. It's so sad. 7 mana sorcery speed removal spell. Just overcompensating on the white mana now. So rather than play Yorion now, I'm going to play the Retribution, and I'm going to play the Legion Angel. Draw another Angel, draw another card. Seems good. Doomscar it is, okay. One card left. The value train is real. So flickering this, I guess, draws extra cards. But I'll just have to discard anyway, right? Oh well. We're gonna do it for the fun of it. For the fun of it. YORION. This is where it really... This is where the Garruk's Uprising really pops. Remember to flicker it too, because if you have your YORION, you draw a card when it enters the battlefield off itself. Oh no. Oh no. It's too much value. It's too much. They didn't make it through all the triggers. They just couldn't do it. Yeah, this hand will do. We've got 2 pieces of interaction and 3 card draw spells, which might be too much on the card draw, but hopefully the tomes lead us where we need to go. And hopefully this hits a land drop if we need one. Okay, looks like we have to fire this off right away, which is kind of bad. If this thing grows, that's a big problem. I guess we could hold up Heartless Act, but then we don't get the tome on the field. I do think I just have to get the tome on the field. But if they play Robber of the Rich, does it exile? Actually, no, right? Because we went first, so we're lower on cards. When they have, I remember this from playing the deck, when they have Robber on the draw, it's too slow. So we should be able to get away with setting up our Witherbloom command better to make sure it actually does hit a land. I'll take 1. Do we want this Witherbloom command? Our opponent did nothing here. If they're holding up the Bone Crusher Giant, that's a mistake. Alright, that's a land. Alright, when one or more cards are put into exile during your turn. So if I do this now, they can't mess with that. No Bone Crusher Giant either. Elite Spellbinder. Probably takes the binding, but let's see. Garruk's Uprising doesn't do much without angels. We gotta work on that. So... play the other tome, or draw a card with the tome we have. Let's get the cards on the battlefield. They probably run Robber if they run Stonebinder's Familiar. They don't want to play Winota or Blade Historian because of the Heartless Act, but they go for it anyway. So, let's scry and see if we can find another removal spell to take the place of this Heartless Act if we use it here. Don't see anything. I still think the play here is to kill this and let them have the Historian and then find another removal spell later. Okay, deck. Deck is being a prankster. A major prankster. So we could get the Uprising down, and then we're set up for future Angels. I guess that's better than drawing another card. And we're going to take a punch. But then we have Binding. So it depends what the opponent's follow-up here is. Like, can they put 2 or 3 creatures on the battlefield and get away with it? Oh no. Well, I even called the Robber. And now it's hitting at the right time. Having a haste element in the deck does add a lot to this build. Another Binding. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's play the one from hand because of Robber. Get rid of the Historian. And we can draw another card sometime on their turn. And try to find some Angels to pay off this Uprising that's not doing anything. Yeah. If you don't have all the Historians, what are you actually doing? But we're doing okay. The tomes are keeping us in it with the life gain, so I'm glad we scried them and played them early. But the land, guys, the land. Oh, well, there's a card advantage engine. Leave the tapped lands in there. Our mana is just fine. Kind of a removal spell, but not one that really helps us right here. 3 mana can buy Yorion, though. Let's do it. Now the robber is going to trigger, which is a little scary. But Yorion is looking mighty nice with some of these cards. Savior. Oh boy. I guess Witherbloom Command helps. Spellbinder. If they don't take the command, this hits the Spellbinder, which is nice. And they go for the Yorion. Okay. 7 mana is a lot. But we can also use command if we draw an untapped land. So, do I scry here and try to make sure this whiffs? If it hits a Heartless Act, we could lose on the spot. That'll do. I guess we can force the Savior to sacrifice by blocking the Historian. It absorbs the same amount of damage. I do think that we have to block. We can't afford to sit back and wait. Plus, if we get the dog out of the way, we can bind the Historian, Witherbloom the Spellbinder, and they're back down to a Robber of the Rich. That's good, too. Oh, man, we're 1 mana off of being able to do it all. And there is a passage in the graveyard. Okay. You can mill your opponent. Nice. Get those dogs out of here and still get back a land from your graveyard. It's kind of a cool templating. Doing it all, baby. Doing it all. And Garrick's Uprising looked really bad earlier in the game, but now you're starting to see it, right? You're starting to see it. All these angels would be freaking broken if you just attach draw a card to them when they enter the battlefield. That's what the card does. Oh no. Please don't hit a Heartless Act this turn. Please don't do it. 3 Blade Historians is so much. Binding? Okay. Okay. Gonna be all right. Bob Marley said not to worry about a thing, because every little thing's gonna be all right. Let's get that off the battlefield. I know the opponent is about to play a Spellbinder, but the Spellbinder isn't a very scary card when you have a lot of mana. Me makes the face-up play. Opponent, I can't continue. All right, Tome. Do you believe in the Tome? I also believe in Witherbloom Command quite a lot. This card's winning me over. Just about, like, all the aggro decks give you a target, and against the Ultimatum deck, you can hit their, what is it, Wolf Willow Haven? Against the rogue decks, sometimes there's no target. Not rogues, but, you know, the decks you don't expect. It happens, but... Against rogues, you get to kill their enforcers early. You get to kill their whatever little critters those are. What are they called? Wind robbers. All right, we get to kill a Mire Triton. Feels good. I think in this matchup, I won't be under too much pressure, and I should draw with my Tome instead of scry it. But we are a Yorion deck. What would I keep on top right now? I guess I need a cheaper removal spell, and I don't need land, so yeah. Good scry, good scry. Doing it on hard mode, I see. Let's make sure we get a land into the graveyard for the Witherbloom Command so we don't whiff. We don't want to mill the opponent here. They look like they like having cards in their graveyard. Yay, 3 spells gone. Oops. Hopefully Elspeth Conquers Death is a good hit in this matchup. And also, if we find a creature to get in the graveyard, it's a better play. Well, that would make another Witherbloom command a good draw. We can't afford to draw any more land. We're flooding out pretty hard. So, good scry, good scry. Shuffler? I just had you... I just put that on the bottom, though. Floody. Floody, flood, flood. Oh, that's a that's an ECD target. Nice. Heartless Act. Thin it, baby. Get thinner. We gotta pull out the land. There's too many of them. Elspeth Conquers Death. Goodbye, Wostrida. Get it exiled while the opponent doesn't have village rights up. I want to be excited about these Amiria's calls, but they're such, like, all of our angels are such claim the firstborn bait. It's kind of terrifying. On the bright side, we are a Yorion deck taking on what looks to be mostly a Rakdos mid-range deck. Maybe some white in there. And that is just classically a matchup that's in our favor. Like, the Yorion decks just torture the Rakdos mid-range decks. Please play another Woestrider. No? No? Okay. Let's do this. There's a Witherbloom command. We'll keep that. Pretty good. Trigger. So, we can loop these. And then hopefully in the future they'll kill this and we can get it back. Caw. It's Yorion. They're also taxed here, so it costs them a lot of mana to get rid of the Sky Noodle. And then it comes back in a turn or two anyway. Could really use... What is it? In Garrick's Wake? I forget the name of the card all the time. Garrick's Uprising. In Garrick's Wake is the commander card that, like, destroys all creatures you don't control for a mere 9 mana. Garrick's Uprising. We could use it. Could use some card advantage when we play these Amiria's calls. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Out comes the rope. Our opponent was stuck on land, and they hit back-to-back lands, though. So, their hand should be all spells. There should be a way for them to make this work. No timeouts, Rodrigo. The time is nigh. You're gonna have to make a play. I mean, you could rope out, but it's not good for the content. My turn. All right, rope out, say go. Gotcha. Cool. Vanishing Verse is a good draw. There's a trigger. We could attack with Yorion and then Heartless Act our Yorion. That's kind of funny. Let's see if we can mill a creature here. We'll do the -3, -1 mill. There, we milled a Yorion. Life is good. Let's draw a card. Maybe we'll hit like an Elspeth's Nightmare that we want to play this turn. Another Tome. Okay. It's fine too. Can scry it up. Return of Woestrider. Return of the Woestrider. Keep on casting Fabled Passage. I try to leave forests in the deck if I don't need the green mana for something because of binding. Binding can grab them. All right. Draw. Main. Target the Yorion. So we're going to do a double Yorion loop here. Let's make sure it actually hits the battlefield. Keep the one that's currently in play. Is a double Yorion loop really good with these tomes? I guess it's some extra cards, right? So we should do it. So let's keep the one that's in play. Trigger goes on the stack. We go draw. And we go draw. Ooh, land. Ah, there's a card. All right. Nice. So we exile the current Yorion and the 2 tomes. And now we play the Retribution. This is walking into some Claim the Firstborn nonsense. But I think we've got to start somewhere. So all these return. Trigger, hold on. So I wanted to scry with these before I exile them. So now that I didn't get that, because I forgot to put the stop here, we may as well only exile this, since we're not resetting anything. But I had a free scry too, if I had put a stop on my end step. But we'll get an Angel on their end step when the Retribution returns. It will trigger. Yep, there's the claim. The first claim. Let's see if they can also clear the Yorion. And hit me really hard. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty strong. What is that, 9 damage? Puts us effectively at 5. Waken the Blood Avatar. All right. And these tomes are really reset and a long way from gaining life. Kind of scary. Why are we auto-progressing here? I wanted scries. Thank you. The game doesn't want me to scry. That's pretty nice. I'm going to progress this because I might need the life soon. All right, Angels are going to gain this ability. We can destroy the Avatar with it. We can attack first because they have Vigilance. We can also go for a Miria's Call, and Double Strike could be lethal next turn, but I think that's assuming a lot. It's assuming our opponent doesn't have cards is what it is. Let's go after their Woe Strider. Get it exiled. All right, so now we tap you, destroy you with the Retribution ability. Let's play the Witherbloom command. I'm going to gain 2. I'm going to mill myself and get a land back. Try to make it as hard as possible to burn me out. There's still a forest in the deck, right? Right. We have almost all the basics. Might as well thin it. Yeah, I think it's too aggro to play Miria's Call there, because I think the opponent then uses, like, claim, removal spell, you die. Rankle is not bad. They don't steal anything. Heartless Act. Normally I don't want to de-thin the deck when I've got a land that I know about on the bottom, but there's only 1 forest left, and I don't want to draw it by accident, because then I have a dead Fabled Passage. First, nice. Land to the bottom. Nightmare. Double Strike. 10 lands available, so we can Miria's Call and have 1 removal spell open, but not 2. So I'm playing this really conservatively, and it's because my focus is on how to avoid losing this game. as opposed to the obvious, like, slam big thing, try to win. I'm trying not to lose. Because when there are plays that can beat you, and if you just play around those, you're almost certain to win, you probably should play around them. Because if we get to the point where we gain life off these tomes, I'm going to feel a lot better doing just about whatever I want. Plus, especially if we get the Nightmare going, we get a look at their hand, we exile their graveyard, we take away their options. Kroxa is here. Let's draw. Might affect our decision. We were planning to do that anyway. No real use for this green mana lying around. We could exile the Kroxa now, and then they can't have the trigger off it later. If they have an untapped land, they can bring it back now. What's the discard? It's got to be an Amiria's Call. But yeah, let's just... Oh wait, we can't exile it. Multicolored. Okay. Okay. They just wanted to see a card in my hand, and then the scoop. Opponent goes first. Hand is slow. Oh man, this one is certainly on the edge. Game. We got a 2-1. All right, Giant Killer isn't the most threatening creature. Part of me wonders if I'm supposed to sacrifice this and hope to draw a Witherbloom command, but I think we have to play the tap land. Witherbloom command wouldn't even be great here, because it wouldn't kill anything. The opponent... You're going to protect your Aspirant, right? Or are you going to go for damage? Interesting decision already. We need to draw a 2-drop. Nice. Nice. Kind of rewarded here. We can wait till the opponent points their Luminarch Aspirant, but we're not playing around to fight as one. Or we could just kill it. They might also play a Sky Maul, so... Let's wait. Sparring Regimen. Yeah. All right. So this is good. The Sparring Regimen. Actually, let's let them make their learn decision, then kill their Aspirant. So the Sparring Regimen means that we can Mythos the Giant Killer, then they have no creature to take advantage of the Regimen next turn. The sequencing, like, it seems like I'm taking forever. I know. And I'm playing super slow here. This sequencing against mono white is important. Most people don't take the time to think through very much against mono white and just kill thing and go, but it matters so much. As a person who's played a lot of mono white to get it up to mythic and such, like, when you time these spells is so key. That Faceless Haven is a big problem. A big problem. Also, the fact that they have Giant Killer makes our Angels so much worse. Oh, come on! Oh, that is... We had a game and then we lost. So key, right? Or just draw like that. Easy. All right, we've got some removal, possible land drops, the fabled Garruk's Uprising. It has dinosaurs on it, guys. What more could you want? Oh, look! Nobody needs to think about their plays harder than frickin' mono red. Big brain over here going at it. Just whirring away. Oh, God. What do I do here? Do I attack? I mean, I don't know how to block. Maybe I'll attack. This is mono red. They play mono red. Mono red. Mono red doesn't know what to do. Needs 20 minutes per play to make the obvious line happen. Mythos is scary card. So we got to be careful about putting a permanent on the battlefield. So we could kill the robber with the Heartless Act. I think I'm just going to Elspeth's Nightmare it next turn, or at least that's the plan. So if they play an Annex, I have to Heartless Act that. So yeah, let's just get the Charger here. Hey, we hit the land. Cool. I was a little nervous about that. I always like to try to set myself up for success when I use the Witherbloom command, because I've whiffed too many times. Too many times. If we were on the play, our opponent would have literally no creatures on this turn. And our hand would be amazing. Okay, Rimrock Knight could be worse. It's not an Annex. They are going to get at least 5 damage out of it, though, which is a lot. But let's get this down and try to take away their Embercleave. Those Faceless Havens are so brutal. But we have a Heartless Act. It's all going to be about, can we have the mana open to use it? And it's just too much pressure. It's just too much, isn't it? 2 Blade Historians and Faceless Haven? That's a greedy mono-red player. We end up taking 7 next turn. We're just never going to get in front, are we? If we had gone first, they would have never even hit us yet. Oh, I guess they would have hit us with the robber, but you know what I mean. Okay, must be the 3rd Blade Historian, because the Shuffler's fine. Alright, how do we deal with 2 creatures this turn? Can we? I don't think we can. I think we're dead. Yeah, we just don't have the means. If we go first, we win that game so easily. And as it is, it's 20-0. Just threat every turn and we lose. All right, so keeps, and just now we're on the play. So if they're an aggro deck, they just won't touch us. Oh, don't be a moron. I kept nice and fast. Shut up. It's okay when I do it. It's not okay when you do it. That's the rules of life. Everybody on red-black today? I did notice an uptick in rogues, and rogues are the thing that usually you attack with a red-black deck. But please don't mana screw me. Three Yorions is a bit much. Please don't mana screw me. Silly deck. I guess this is great on a Woe Strider. Let's just go ahead and use the Mythos here. We're gonna have to discard if we don't, so we do it now. Ooh, has it been a day? Seize the spoils. Okay. If they village rights here, at least they have to use their treasure. I think I played this person before. I recognize the just weirdo card choices. You gonna make me discard on a full hand? Because I'll take it. Like, that's good for me. Yep. I will gladly trade all these cards with yours. What do you guys think? Is there a land in the top 3? There has to be, right? If it's a... it's too risky. Besides, it can kill a pest on a future turn. Let's just Heartless Act this. We will wait till their turn because it's legendary. We don't want them to slam another one because we did this on our turn. They might plum here and sack the pests. That would be okay with me. Then they'd have no board. Like, in my opinion, if they have a full hand but no board, then we're passing our time okay. Okay, guys. Is there a land? It pretty much has to be now. Scary. Very scary. It's even the wrong land, so we can't hold up Heartless Act. Pretty brutal so far in this game. Pretty brutal. ECD. Tell me you're going to use that treasure for village rights again for the second time this game. What a cheater. Wow. How are those extinction events treating you? I twitch. I twitch, you twitch. We all twitch for I twitch. I think we can still get out of this. I just have to find the way. No reason to give them whatever the learn card is so that they can just, like, they might be able to just go mascot exhibition, right? I guess not with the ECD up. Doesn't feel great, but you have to remember we have a Yorion coming back for free off the ECD to flip the binding. So hopefully... Okay, they play nothing into the binding because they know. I was hoping we get to pick something off there. But instead, we don't. We do have this coming back on end step, though. And we got this trigger. And we have the Valkyries. And we have double Yorion for the future. This does play into Claim, which I don't remember if this deck has, but we're gonna give it a try. Opponent definitely wants to kill the Angel now before they have a board presence that the Valkyries would affect. All right, now we're the one with the board. Thirst first makes sense. That's rude. But we can flip the binding and get it back, which is interesting because it double Yorion triggers us. They're gonna hit us with Rankle. Ow. Don't like that. Now discarding cards becomes a lot worse because we're down to just the good stuff. So now it makes a lot of sense. The Yorions are too much value. We've got to stick with them. We've got to stick with the baby. Yorion! So that doesn't create a trigger, so it doesn't let me double Yorion, which is what I said earlier, but that was incorrect. This is still a very scary game. Baleful Mastery, yep. You have removal for this as well. I mean, it has to be Exile. If it destroys it, you lose your Rankle. Another one. Weird. So freaking weird. Are you going to discard that Mascot Exhibition? No, you're not. You like it too much. I mean, it didn't work the last few turns that we did this, but we're going to do it again anyway. Sometimes the shuffler decides Yorion, 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 Yorion. Three life, though. We've got to watch out for Rankles. Double Bone Crusher is, of course, an option. They've drawn two, so of course they'll draw the other two. And here's the mascots. Here they come. Come on. What'd I tell you? All right. Interesting card that can't hit anything right now. Vigilance? Vigilance. Yorion! I know, the fourth one. Why wouldn't it be? Let's not reset these tomes anymore. We're done with that. Hold on to your butts. Yep, all four Sky Noodles. And probably still gonna lose. Although it's like we're almost there, right? We might just be able to attack for lethal here. The best use for verse right now is to verse our own angel. Okay, they're moving to end step. Let's pick off the flyer. Right? They say good game. Does that mean that you drew the Bone Crusher Giant or what? Why not draw? Because it doesn't matter. And if they drew the fourth Bone Crusher and they're not playing it, it's because they think I've got something. So it gives me another draw. They think I've got something with my open mana. 1, 2, 3. Get him. Ugh. Come on, Mastery Mania over here. Just die. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and Mama told me there would be days like this, so let's check the rank. If you were thinking about crafting it, you might change your mind. It has not been my day. I started out trying to make a Terror Grid deck work, because people always ask for that. It was terrible, as usual. I tried a kind of weird Yorion Strixhaven Stadium deck, terrible. And Abzan Angels, at least, it had my best win rate of the day, 44%. But I would not... I think I've been really unlucky, to be honest. I think I've been insanely unlucky today. That's just a thing that happens. It's going to happen. Should you actually craft the deck? This is a fun deck. It's a deck for the play queue. It's not meant, I think, for competitive ranked. Why? Because it's not meta. I mean, at this point, the meta is solved. You know what decks are good, and you can try to build control decks that specifically attack the meta, but building a mid-range deck with an engine value plan, that's only going to work against certain kinds of decks in certain kind of matchups and with good draws, which I think I failed miserably at pulling off today. Just couldn't make it happen. But that doesn't mean it didn't make for some entertainment. So I hope that you enjoyed the show, so that even when I have a really frustrating day in the arena, you guys can still enjoy it. And remember, there's nothing wrong with playing these in the play queue if you want to. No matter what anybody says, play whatever queue you like whenever you want to. And this deck is much more fun. It's much more fun than like the typical meta decks. And if you don't like blue decks, but you might enjoy doing some Yorion Blink stuff, this is probably right up your alley. So I think there's still plenty of fun to be had, and I hope you don't write it off. So today we are dedicating the deck to Jacob Garcica, Visman, Juan Bidinost, and Chaos for You Too. Thank you for hitting the join button below and being a Cool Kids Club member. And we do in the store have some sweet cosmetic deals that we're going to purchase in your honor. Let's go right down the list. Boom. Sulfuric Sulfur Falls, yes. Glacial Fortress, yes. Drowned Catacomb, yes. The checklands are a key part of the historic world, so I'm just gonna take these deals while they exist at 70% off. Why not? Checklands are a very fun part of the mana base that makes Historic a very fun format to play, quite honestly. The best thing about playing Historic is, in my opinion, the sweet mana bases that you can construct. And there you go. Nope. Come on, keep coming. There you go. There, the account got a lot more shiny. So thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.